Hello, I'm Mrs. Melanin.
And I'm Beleaf Mel.
And we're here with episode 49 of How Married Are You? So we're the Henrys.
Yeah.
And we have been married for 9+ years.
9+ years.
We have a newborn.
Yes, and 3 other children, 6, 5, and 2.
Yes, and this one is 2 months old.
Yeah, and so we basically make videos on YouTube on a channel called Beleaf and Fatherhood, and this is our sister channel, How Married Are You podcast. And so we do podcasts on all platforms and also on our YouTube channel. And on Thursdays, we usually release full topical episodes where we go in depth on, how life is going for us and how things are going for us through a certain topic. And on Tuesdays, we kind of tackle some of the dilemmas that people from the wedding party have sent to us. And so you can email us. You can follow us on Instagram at How Married Are You? And, send us a message there. You can also call our number
760-335-6643.
We'll disguise your voice and, put you on here, and express your dilemma. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so we have 4 kids and sorry, Uzi. He was like, wait, what?
He was like, why are you touching me?
Yeah, and so we usually tell stories, and so so right now we're gonna hop into Chocolate Baby Story Time.
It's Chocolate Baby Story Time.
I think you should have one because I haven't been here.
Well, mine is actually kind of old. One day I decided that, you know what? I'm just going to get a Nerf gun and start shooting the kids. And so I got a Nerf gun and I started shooting the kids, and it was fun. That's not really my thing though. Like, that's Glen's thing. He'll grab a Nerf gun. They'll just go crazy throughout the house, chasing each other, shooting each other, hiding behind corners and doors and underneath things and whatnot and so forth. And so I did that with the boys for a while. And then it got to the point where I was like, okay, this is no longer entertaining to me, or I don't have enough energy to keep this up. And so I was like, legit set a timer and say, okay, guys, when this timer goes off, we're done. And anyways, at the end of it, I could tell that the kids really enjoyed it and that I need to take more opportunities to do things like that. And so I've been trying to do that. Not the Nerf gun way of doing it, but this weekend I got all of my 3 youngest kids to nap at the same time. Round of applause. There should be a round of applause button here, because that is like not necessarily something that happens all the time. And so anyways, Theo and I were the only ones left, and Theo is my screen time kid where he just wants to be watching TV. Can you burp him while I talk? Watching TV, or playing on the iPad, or just doing anything but, whatever. Anyway, so when the kids were napping, I decided that I was going to play with him and just kind of focus and give him some one-on-one time. So we played the game Block Us, and I taught him how to jump rope, and it was nice. And so I guess my Chocolate Baby story time is just a little bit of encouragement to myself to keep playing with my kids, because I think sometimes I get so caught up with keeping the house together, or cooking a meal, or getting ready for school, or doing whatever, that I don't take enough time to just play. And I've noticed that it makes a difference with the kids. They really enjoy it. So, yeah.
Yeah. I would say for my Blockers. For my Chocolate Baby story time, I would say, I was out of town this past weekend. I'm not gonna get into why. We'll talk about that next episode. But Yvette sent me this video, and she was like, "I can't tell if the kids are serious or they're playing because the kids play fight pretty hard, and Uriah really doesn't know his own strength, and he goes crazy." But yeah, so after this, I'll get a fan.
It's hot.
I know it's hot. This is my office. But after we get through this part, I'll get a fan for us. All right. So yeah. And all you see is Theo like bugging Uriah, and then he just starts swinging. Boom, 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 boom. Theo drops to the ground and gets back up and just wails and walks off. And it was like, Theo is an instigator. Raya is overreacting. They're both dramatic. But Theo is definitely more the theatrical, and Uriah is what?
Uriah is drastically reactive. Like when he reacts, it's like a reaction times 100.
Okay, yeah. So I feel like there's a little bit of both me and you in all of them. Because
what part is me?
Okay, so you are I'm a drastic over reactor.
100, because if we do pranks, your pranks go like too crazy.
And so, but you make a big deal out of small things. Whenever you see something, like I'll be like sitting there and quiet, and then you're like, "Oh my gosh," and I'm like, "What happened?" I'm thinking something bad happened. You're like, "It's a sale happening this weekend, and I bought the thing last week."
That's actually pretty intense.
No, it's not.
In the comment section below, let us know if you would be very upset about that.
Don't even respond to that stupidness. So anyway, just breathe.
I can't. It's so hot.
These lights.
I feel like we're in the garage again.
All right. See guys. We did upgrade a few things. Yvette got new headphones, and I have a matching chair, and we are the same height, and I'm not shrinking anymore.
All thanks to you guys at that paypal.me/HMAY podcast.
All right. So anyway, let's hop into words of affirmation. Speaking of showing ways to support the channel, one of the ways we love to hear you is the words of affirmation, and that is when you send your thoughts, your reasonings while you listen to the podcast, and it helps us move forward and stay motivated to get the podcast done and to make sure that like everything's rolling and we're excited to do this. And so to hear the reasons why you like us is important for us, because this actually takes a lot of time away from quality time that we could be having with each other, and then this with the babies and stuff like that. And so we appreciate this form of currency. And so there are a few ways where you can send your words of affirmation. You can do it through the Anchor app. You can do it also if you scroll to the bottom of the show notes of any of the podcasts on Apple or any podcasting platform. You'll see a link for Anchor, and you can send us a voicemail that way. You can leave a voice message at our Google phone, which is 760-335-6643. You can also send us a voice note message through Instagram at How Married Are You. Follow us there, and so we're gonna go ahead and hop into these words of affirmation.
What we're gonna do right here is go back.
Oh my gosh, I am so grateful for you guys. Like, that last episode, I know, was a hard one for you, but your transparency, your willingness to just give yourselves to us in that way, I'm so appreciative. I hope you guys feel it. Like, thank you so much.
Freak, y'all, and you don't stop. To the beat, y'all, and you don't stop. A freak, y'all, and you don't stop. To the beat, y'all, and you don't stop. A freak.
You're a blessing to my family and our circle, because we invite them to listen and have these conversations. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for those words of affirmation. We are here with Yvette. Let's just go ahead and get it right. Mrs. Melanin on Instagram, Beleaf Mel, and the Chocolate Babies, or just Chocolate Babies. Uzi's in the building. He's making sure y'all know he's here.
He's like, what up?
And so, yeah, I don't know what his issue is, but he's not going to sleep right now, so whatever. But yeah, so let's talk about this dilemma, right? Can we hop into it?
Yeah.
Oh, last episode we talked about
creation.
What
you need to know in order, and what you need to know being in a relationship with a creative.
Yeah, and
or
so
what we've experienced.
Yeah, and we got some great responses on our YouTube channel in the comment section. Some people were asking, like, man, I always thought I was a creative, but actually I'm just a dreamer. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people were responding to that, and it's really cool to see, you know, some of that. So I think we're gonna pick up with a question there.
Yeah, there was a question about with someone who was asking advice for dating a creative, and so I'm gonna go ahead and read this, but let me make it bigger really quick since I'm so far away.
And when y'all send y'all emails, just send it in black, not in gray or pink. Just
I know
send it all
this
the way in
one's,
black.
I'm gonna have to really yeah. Anyways, hi Yvette and Glen. First off, I love what you guys are doing and really appreciate your content. Y'all are the realest couple, and I appreciate the fact that you share your authentic selves and stories with us. I know it's definitely changed and improved my view of family, marriage.
All right, hold on.
I'll just put them in this arm.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. Family, marriage, and overall just bless me. So thank you guys. Secondly, here is my question. My boyfriend and I have been dating for 4 years. Although we've talked about engagement and made plans and goals to get there, he seems to change what he wants career-wise and financially every couple of months and doesn't ever seem to stick to a plan, which subsequently changes our plans for engagement. As a creative, he is a creative and is currently trying to figure out if he wants to finish school if he wants to finish school and for what. He's also taking up small jobs. Meanwhile, I just stopped working full time to get my second degree and know what career I want to pursue. I know we're young, ages 23, so I guess they're both 23. But I am getting a little frustrated that he's not following through on things he said he would do, especially because they affect our future. I've spoken to him about it quite a bit, but don't want to nag him. I know you guys had a time where Glenn was figuring out what he wanted to do and Yvette was working. Can you guys share about how you supported each other through that time? Do you have any advice? I'm coming for you, Uzi. Do you have any advice for individuals who are dating creatives or who are in different places when pursuing a life together? And lastly, should I be concerned that his indecisiveness means he's not serious about us? I'd be really interested to hear both of your thoughts and opinions. God bless.
Okay. All right. Put him back on the boob. And I think I'll start this question.
Yeah.
Okay. So, there was a long time where I had no idea what I wanted to do. As a matter of fact, I've only known what I wanted to do for the past 3 years. 4 years now, I guess.
It's been more than that.
And so we've been married for 9 of those. 9. So, like, I would say that I think there's a lot of pressure to have it figured out
Before,
some people just ain't got it figured out.
Yeah.
The only thing he needs to do is work, create income as much as he can. You know what I mean? And he also needs to maintain the time to pursue other things that he might stumble on and stumble over his true passion. But he has to bring in income, and how he does that, as long as it's legal, like, he can do whatever he want. You know what I mean? And I think you guys just need to let him, he needs to feel free enough to just kind of figure it out. Because he may know himself and know, I can do this, but he hasn't chosen anything. I know so many people who's like, I want to, I was talking to a friend of mine, and this could actually probably speak to my friend. He was like, yo, I want to be the, the black version of, I'm not going to put his business out there. So let's just say I want to be the black version of, who's kind of like a jack of all trades. Let's just say Joe Rogan. Like, I want to be the black version of Joe Rogan. And so Joe Rogan has so many different things that he's done. He used to host the Fear Factor. He's an MMA. He's an MMA connoisseur. He's a hunter. He's a comedian, stand-up comedian. He does so many different things that to make him your target and to say, I want to be this guy, that's not decisive enough. You have to figure out what problem you want to solve. And your boyfriend, right? They're just boyfriend and girlfriend. He just hasn't figured out what he wants to solve yet. He may be capable of creating many things. He just doesn't know his why. And figuring out your why is very important, and it comes later. You don't know what your why is sometimes. And so some people have a skill, but they don't have a why, so they just create aimlessly. Other people have a why and they don't have a skill, so they have to go back and try to develop something or find someone who's skillful to go along with their why. So what do you think, babe?
Yeah, I think as for you, and it's easier saying this in hindsight than it would have been to say it like while we were living through it, because for me during that time, I was trying to suggest so many things to him. I thought he should be a teacher. I thought he should be a barber. Like, I was trying to put a lot of different things on him. And what I really needed to be doing was practicing patience and encouraging him to really like press into the gifts that he had, that he wanted to pursue. Because a lot of the things I was doing was I was seeing his, like, Glen's one of those guys that can do multiple different things, or he has multiple different trades. And so I was like, okay, why don't you try this? Why don't you try that? Why don't you try this? But it wasn't necessarily anything that he wanted to pursue. And so I would just encourage you to encourage him to really pursue the things that interest him, because you guys are young. Like 23 is pretty young. Pursue the things that interest him, and then maybe help him develop a game plan. Because
Game plan?
Not a game plan, but help him, not a game plan. Help him, you guys work together to like develop goals that, help him to goal set or whatever. Because I feel like the danger in encouraging you to encourage him is that he could possibly get stuck, like just trying it out versus like actually accomplishing anything.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that conversation you had in the comment section about a dreamer versus a creative. Like, is he just dreaming or is he actually creating?
Yeah, like I think that's true. I think the problem is with like a game plan is that the game plan is supposed to like, hey, this is what you said we're going to do. You can't change your mind.
No. Yeah.
And so that kind of, that gives me anxiety and fear. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? By you saying like, oh, like he's not like committed to anything, like, and it's messing with my future because I know what I want to do, but he doesn't know what he want to do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of people who didn't know what they want to do until 45 years old and they figured it out, and not only made a big, a dent in the world, but they also had a lot of financial, success with that type of stuff. So, I think the goal is for you guys to be super grounded in the foundation of who you guys are as a couple. If you guys are going to pursue marriage, then get counselors and work on your relationship. And no matter what he does, you can communicate with him. You know what I'm saying? And tell him, because you have such a good foundation, you can communicate with him and say, hey, like, a part of, what I hope for is like security in this way. And I know that you aren't God and going to give me like supreme security, but I'm hoping that we could work towards something that, helps us, sustain, whatever type of level of income or whatever the situation is, but also that you be fulfilled. And when you communicate that type of stuff with him, this kid is just spazzing out. Yeah, and when you're able to communicate those type of things, then because like it wasn't that the thing that Yvette said to me was like, yo, what's your 5-year plan? I couldn't tell her. And so the fact that I didn't have a plan made it almost ridiculous for her to follow me because I had no direction. And so that was the thing that catapulted me. And I don't think, and the only reason she could ask me that question because I trusted her enough to, I was married to her and we did have kids. You know what I'm saying? It was like, we ain't got no plan, bro. Like, what is happening? And I think at this point he's allowed to figure it out. And you don't want to become someone who's pressuring him to figure it out because you're impatient. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to be a safe haven for his thoughts, you know what I mean? Or his ideas. And not someone who's just kind of like, come on, man, we need to figure out I need to marry someone who knows what he's going to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that's something that you're thinking, you know what I mean? Then yeah, I know that you didn't say that, but yeah, that's my thoughts.
I also think like if financial security is one of those things that you're looking for in your marriage, then maybe setting a goal for you guys to like save up money. I don't know. Is that okay? For them to like set up money, save up, say, okay, we want $10,000 or $20,000 saved up. He's breathing heavily. He sounds like like a certain dollar amount saved up before we get married or going into the marriage, or like do things differently. Don't have an expensive wedding. You can have a really nice wedding for inexpensive. Does that make sense? Dave Ramsey says, live like no one else so you can live like no one else.
Yeah. And
I think right now that might be the way that you guys should be pursuing things.
Yeah. I think that there is, I think it's okay for him to not have it all together, but I don't think it's okay for him to use his creative as an excuse not to find a job and work. Mm-hmm. He needs to work. Regardless of what he does, it's something that he doesn't like. It doesn't matter. He needs to work. And whether he's being a creative or washing dishes or driving a Uber, you know what I'm saying, whatever, he got to figure it out, because during that time when I was trying to figure it out, I was a caregiver for an old dude. And I was a taxi driver. This is before Uber. And I worked at a warehouse, like a temp agency, through a temp agency. And then I got hired on full time. You know what I'm saying? And so that was like 3 years, I think, of trying to figure it out. And then, yeah. All right. So you want to go ahead and I'll take him and you get the next one up. Oh my gosh, child.
I was going to answer this part of the question. She said, and lastly, should I be concerned that his indecisiveness means he's not serious about us? I don't think that should be a concern. I think his indecisiveness just means he doesn't know what he wants to do with his life right now. And again, you guys are young, so he should still be given that freedom to try to figure it out. So don't take it too personal. Just try to be slightly understanding. Speaking from experience. Okay, so we're going to get into this next episode.
I wanted to talk about that point. Because that kind of got me. When she said that, like she took a non-issue. No.
You want me
It's
to
going to take
I'll
you forever to
take
come down. Yeah, okay, so you're in, like his indecisiveness has nothing to do with you. It's all to do with him. And I definitely, like Yvette said, don't take it personal.
And that's one of my points in last episode.
Yeah, like don't take it personal, but also too, like he's just trying to figure it out. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like it's nothing wrong with not knowing. Mm-hmm. From the age of 5 years old, people are asking us what we want to be when we grow up, and we get confused, and we're like, yeah, whatever will get you to stop asking me that question, I'll say, and so he's, maybe coming from a place where he's not even allowed to create, so he has to go through certain stages of creation. I think you guys share this video. We'll put the link in the show notes. Mm-hmm. I did this video called Protect Your Genius, and I think it's important for this thing. So
And share it with your boyfriend.
yeah, share it with your boyfriend.
Okay. So this next email that we got, hello. Okay. This next email that we got has to do with overcoming insecurities. So let's just read it. And you know what? I think I'm just gonna get straight to the question instead of. We so appreciate your guys' words of affirmation when you are writing in asking for advice, but I'm gonna get straight to the point. So she goes, before I ask my question, here's a little background story. I have been dating my boyfriend for 21 months and we have been friends for 3 years, 9 months. Yes, I am that crazy girlfriend that remembers. It's a long distance relationship, but next year I will be moving back to Zambia. My boyfriend is the one who introduced me to you guys. Yay, thank you, boyfriend.
Yeah.
So my question is, how best can I deal with my insecurities and jealousy so as not to ruin the relationship we have built? Because in as much as I want to spend the rest of my life with this person, I am afraid my insecurities will bring us apart. Because as of now, I just keep to myself, and being away helps.
What? I mean, what are the insecurities?
So I think she's saying that the long distance has kind of helped her deal with those insecurities, like avoid dealing with those insecurities and elements of jealousy. But now that she's moving back near him, she's concerned that it's going to come out, and she wants to know how she can.
Yeah, that's that invisible baggage.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's scary.
Yeah.
I think you need to go ahead and start letting that weirdness out. You know what I'm saying? Like, let it out. And because what you don't want to happen is he meet, like, the long distance you and the in-person you are actually two different people. That's what you don't want. You know what I mean? And so when you guys get together, it's kind of like, yeah, I actually don't like you hanging out with your sister. Like, your sister, like, why are you hanging out with your sister all the time?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, whoa, this is my sister. Like, you know what I mean? You never said that, you know? And so I think he should have the right to know you fully. But it's almost like, how can I, because basically what I hear you saying is, how can I not be myself so I can keep this person? Because if you're insecure and jealous, he should know that about you. But if you're on the phone, hey babe, you going out? Have fun. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you're faking it, you know, but you're like, hey babe, are you going out? And then, like, you're cursing him out, like, with the phone on mute, you know what I'm saying? And then, like, you say, okay, well, have a good time. And then you lay in your bed and sulk, but he doesn't ever get to see that.
So I think that's just an element of just being honest. I actually recently had a conversation. It's interesting that you use that example, because I had a conversation with a friend who felt uncomfortable with the fact that, or maybe I shouldn't share this. I think they listen. Anyways, I just think sometimes it's okay for you to say, hey, when you spend a lot of time with other people, more time with other people than you spend with me, it makes me a little bit jealous, or I feel insecure. I feel like there's something about me that you don't want to hang out with me or something.
Yeah, but it's her insecurities. Like, those insecurities aren't his fault.
Those insecurities aren't his fault, but it would be the same as you knowing that my love language is words of affirmation and you're not giving me words of affirmation. Like, there are things that it takes to fill her love tank, and I feel like if her love tank is full, then the insecurities and jealousies could possibly be avoided. No? Right? Like,
yeah, but I don't want to be in a relationship that's gonna make me, like, having to walk on eggshells because you're okay, check this out. There was a point, right, where you and I would be fine, and then you would watch 7 episodes of Grey's Anatomy, and then I go on tour and you'd be like, yeah, well, you better be careful, you better behave, because you were watching stuff that made, and I'm like, you better turn that TV off.
No, it would be like I had just watched an episode where someone cheated on somebody or whatever, and I'm like, wait a minute. Glen has ample opportunity right now to cheat on me, type situation.
Yeah. But can y'all see me still? Oh,
no.
But Turn this way. But yeah, like I don't feel like that was my fault.
No, for sure.
It was your fault for filling your brain with that.
Yeah, and that's another thing.
And
that's
that made you insecure.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
But that's another point though. Like, okay, so you filling my love tank via speaking my words of affirmation is just as important as what I'm putting into my mind, what I'm allowing into my mind. Like we both have some responsibility there. Does that make sense? So like, yeah, if I'm watching Grey's Anatomy and it is making my mind think this whole episode is a mess.
All right, go ahead. But it's making your mind what?
So if I'm putting stuff in my mind, if I'm feeding my heart, my soul, my spirit with things that are starting to make me, where I'm starting to project other people's actions who are not even real people, they're fictional characters, onto my significant other, and I'm noticing, oh wait, it's making me suspicious of you or this, that, and the other, then I should probably stop watching that, because it's gonna eventually, like, you know, cause a ripple in our relationship. But at the same time, you do have a responsibility to fill my love tank.
Mm-hmm.
So we both share that responsibility. So for her, like, if there are things that she's allowing into her spirit that are causing her to be insecure or jealous, then she needs to like evaluate that and remove those things from her mind, or take a break. Because I just took a break. I didn't stop watching Grey's Anatomy.
No, but this is the thing. Like, I feel the issue for me is that this isn't innocence. Like, this is like she's not being honest, and she wants to be cared for.
So what I'm saying is communicate those things. Communicate how she desires to be cared for. Communicate the things that make her jealous. Like, what if I said, so if I came to you and I was like, babe.
Throw up on me. Do you have a rag or something?
I don't, not with me.
All right, go ahead. I'm listening.
You want me to pause? I'll just stop talking.
Press stop.
I feel like if.
Yeah, you said it's his responsibility to fill her love tank.
Yeah, like it's your responsibility to fill my love tank, and it's my responsibility to acknowledge the things that I'm projecting on you that you haven't shown evidence of that behavior. You know what I mean?
I feel like this is so much on her.
What?
I don't feel like it's
It is. A lot of it is on her.
Right.
And what I'm saying is that she needs to communicate these things to him. Mm-hmm. And he can choose, like, okay, I was going to give an example. I was going to say, hey, so what if you started playing disc golf, like, let's say you worked every day, right? And then after work, you're like, okay, hey, I'm going to go play disc golf. And you went to go play disc golf. And then you come back and you hang out with the kids. Mm-hmm. And then you put the kids to bed. And then you come back and you go to work, right? Mm-hmm. Am I not allowed to say, hey, babe, I'm a little bit jealous that you're like spending time working, engaging in a hobby, and spending time with the kids, but you're not spending any time with me?
Right.
Can I not say that I'm jealous?
You can definitely say that 100%.
And so then does that not provoke you to action?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
So why can't she do the same?
I'm saying that this is a long distance relationship, and she has things that she has never. It'd be like, I feel like it would be more appropriate to say, hey, when you get back, you never knew this, but I actually have kids that you need to put to bed, and then you need to spend time with me. Like, he has no idea about any of the insecurities. So the insecurities are a secret. So I'm saying the issue is that like she's jealous and she's insecure and he has no idea.
Okay.
But you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. No, I don't. I feel like we're saying the same thing, but maybe we're not.
Hope this helped.
Communication. Communication is key.
Yes, communication is key. I think definitely she should communicate those insecurities. Mm-hmm. But I also feel like he might be bombarded with this like, whoa, like what is all this coming from? Like,
okay, and then maybe our suggestion is to, like, for me, what I would do is I would go to a woman who might be older and more mature in a relationship, which maybe she's thinking I'm the woman. But I might go to somebody. But you haven't communicated what those insecurities and jealousy are. So we don't know that much right now.
Yeah.
And maybe you can go to someone that you trust who's older and who's been in a relationship that you admire. And that you can say, hey, this is how I'm feeling. Can you help me sort through these feelings before I go and talk to my significant other, if that makes sense? What do you think about that? Is that good?
I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So that's as much as we can offer you based on the information that we have. So sorry. I hope that was even the littlest bit helpful. Okay. This third email is kind of interesting. I like it. Let me go to it. Let's see. All right. So, hi, Yvette and Glen. Thank you so much for what you two share on the podcast. You guys are what keeps me laughing and productive while at work. I am a single 25-year-old woman who desires to hopefully date in the near future, but I haven't dated in over 5 years, and it seems so foreign to me. I am usually counted as a shy person or standoffish or intimidating to men. I am also always told that I am attractive and will make a great wife one day, but I'm just scared that I will not be bold enough or flirtatious enough flirtatious enough to let a man know that I am interested. I am also scared that if I do, people will judge me and think that I am trying too hard. She put that in air quotes or in quotes. Throughout the church, we hear that, yes, men are supposed to pursue women and how they can go about that. But I honestly feel like the church hasn't done a good job at letting women know what to do if they are interested in a guy. I constantly hear that also men are scared to be rejected and would prefer a woman to give them a little hint that they are interested. But it seems like it goes against the men. But it seems like it goes against the men must pursue idea. I get the waiting and serving God in the waiting, but what would you guys recommend for a woman to do if interested in a guy and what not to do? Glen, would you recommend a woman flirt? Yvette, how did you confirm to Glen that you were also interested in him? So, do you have something to say immediately?
It seems like she already knows who she likes. Right?
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know.
It seems like she's like, hey, like.
Do I tell him or do I
not? Yeah, that seems like more of the question.
So I feel like we should, like, some things are just kind of old school. You definitely don't need to pursue this guy, but I do think it's all right to let him know that you're interested. I don't know, like, I'm not going to front and act like I know how I would do it because I don't know that I would. I honestly didn't even expect to be married at this age. I think I expected to just be getting married. I don't know.
Every time you say that, I wish that's like your wish. Like if you could go back in time, you wish that you
No, I'm saying it as like I was similar to her. Like I never dated anybody. Mm-hmm. People, I don't know if they found me intimidating.
You did date someone. Stop saying that.
What?
You dated someone. You dated a guy. Okay.
There was a guy.
Okay, there was a guy. Anyway,
people didn't really like come for me. I don't know what that was about, but it wasn't a thing. So, I don't know how I would let them know. But at this point in my life, I would just be like, maybe you're welcome to pursue me.
You would not say anything. You would not say anything.
I wouldn't, because there's even people I want to be in relationships with as friends. And I'm like, I hope they reach out to me because I'm not reaching out to them. I have a friend crush on that person. I have so many friend crushes, y'all, but I don't have enough time to pursue them. It's so sad.
Yeah, I think, I definitely think that, flirting is okay. I feel like flirting, depending on...
What does flirting look like, though? Can we talk about this?
I mean, flirting, like, it's like... Oh, goodness gracious.
Hi, baby.
I feel like, and when I say that, I think what you should do is, you could sit next to someone and ask them questions about their life. Like, I don't understand what's so difficult, but I think what we have to talk about is what does pursuing someone look like. And pursuing someone looks like I'm going to make an effort to, put more, put in like make an intention to, be around you and make your life more comfortable and, try to help you understand that it's a pursuit. It's like I'm following you and taking you somewhere that actually sounds really terrifying. But I'm gonna get rid of all my other options.
It's a vibe.
It's not a vibe.
It's a vibe, isn't it? Like, what vibe is the person giving off to you? Are they giving off a vibe that they are possibly interested as well, or are they giving off a vibe that
I feel very rusty.
They're not? Like, we don't know what we're talking about.
Like, I don't know what I'm talking about right now. Because I'll be honest. Like, if I had the date right now,
yeah,
I'd just be single.
Yeah.
I'd just be like, yeah, I'm gonna just wait till somebody.
Babe, this is Tuesday. We're supposed to be encouraging.
Like all
singles.
my pictures on Instagram,
Babe.
and then be like, hey.
Do you like me?
Do you like me or all my pictures? Yeah. I actually I think
because her question. Okay, sorry, I cut you off.
Go ahead.
Her question to me was, how did you confirm to Glenn that you were also interested in me? Glenn was obvious that he was interested in me.
Yeah, it was obvious. I was like, yo. At first, it wasn't obvious because it was like
the first
Facebook,
time, yeah.
like Facebook conversation,
and I was just super
but
dry. It was obvious,
dry and just
babe,
ditzy. Ugh.
No, it wasn't that I was ditzy or dry. It was that my mind wasn't there. Like, I wasn't interested in dating anyone at that point, and so my attention to boys was not necessarily like.
But you were dating someone at the time.
Babe, I was not dating him. I was hanging out with him.
Babe, come on.
Babe, we never had the DTR and define ourselves as.
You never had the DTR.
Are you talking about who I think you're talking about?
Yeah, the light-skinned dude.
Okay.
The tall, light-skinned dude.
All right.
You probably listening too. What up, bleep?
Babe.
I'm not saying that.
No, seriously, we weren't dating.
I know, but that was who you were with.
We hung out a lot.
That was who you were with. That was your guy.
He was hanging out with other girls.
All right, but were you hanging out with other boys? No.
No.
All right, so that was the only guy you were kicking it with. So I just want to make sure you understand that you knew that a man could be interested in you. I don't know why you didn't think I was interested in you. Like, I asked you if you had a MySpace. You said no.
I didn't know what that meant.
You said no. I said you said I have a Facebook, and I was like, I don't have a Facebook, but I'm gonna get one tonight, and I'm gonna add you.
Mm-hmm. And then we started talking in DMs. I so wish we could go back and find those.
Yeah,
DMs.
and those DMs were so fire. I was like, yo, so what do you do? Like, what are you interested in? And she was just very dry, and just when I say ditzy, like, you just did not get it. I
didn't get it.
And so I was like, well, this is a dud. But it took a while for her to get it.
But I feel like in today's culture, people are just so much more upfront.
Yeah.
I feel like while there are the games, I feel like there's still a lot of like, hey, I like you. Do you like me? Okay, no. Then let's just move. No.
I feel like the safest thing for you to do is to pray. Right? And just pray and ask God, like, to reveal them. Like, reveal, like, because being flirtatious could also be interpreted as like thirsty or like you pursuing a man, and that to a man sometimes is very off-putting. You know what I'm saying? It makes us feel like, oh, you like me. You know what I'm saying? So I think that you should pray about it, honestly. If you have someone in your sights and you're like, yo, you know who did that? Preston and Jackie.
I was gonna say the 30 minutes with the Perrys. They talk about their experience where he actually asked, or he prayed about it.
She prayed about it too.
And then somehow, I don't remember the exact story. Do you remember the exact story?
Yeah, we'll put the link in the show notes, I guess.
Yeah.
We'll try to find it. But yeah, Jackie, like, one, it was like, yo, I think I like Preston, but I will pray that God will reveal it to Preston that I like him, so I don't like hinder anything, because they were friends. You know what I'm saying? And Preston was praying at the same time, like, Lord, I really like Jackie, like, make a way, and somehow it worked. I don't feel like it's off-putting for you to, meet and introduce yourself to people. No. Okay, yeah. So, I'm sorry. I kind of got confused with the baby and all that stuff. So, I wouldn't suggest that you flirt with him. I suggest that you pray first, and I think that you should put yourself in positions to be around the people that you're interested in. So, if they are, ask, like, if you see them, like, going out or something like that to hang out to eat, like, try to see what that person is about. And I believe that once you get into a point where you're not, because you're saying you're shy, but you're also, like, that means you're not out there too. So if you're in a position where you're, like, out and about with the people that, you may be interested in, then your light will kind of shine, and they may be like, oh man, she's actually kind of cool. I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? If you're in a public setting, you know what I'm saying? If people are out and hanging out and bowling, I don't know what people do nowadays, man. I'm just completely out of it. We were hanging out with my brother. Well, I was hanging out with my brother, and this fool was on Tinder.
Babe, does he want everybody to know that?
I'm sure he does. I'm sure he does.
Oh, please, I'm so sorry. Oops,
Yeah.
I said his name.
Everybody know he is. Yeah, and so, like, he's on Tinder, and I'm just watching him swipe left and right, and it's a different world.
It's such a different world.
Because you can seemingly know so much about a person before you even meet them, but you only know what they're allowing you to see, and that's not really the real them. So, I don't think you should be, I don't think you should be not yourself, but at the same time, I think you should, if you want to put yourself out there, you have to make people know that you're available, and so, by going out and being amongst people and getting to know them as friends, you might be able to, like Yvette I feel like this was very flirtatious what you did, but it wasn't. You were just being helpful when you would help me take my DJ equipment back to my car.
Yeah.
It was very helpful, yeah, I mean, but you're kind of like, oh, that was nothing.
I was saying I was just not flirting. I wasn't flirting. I was just I noticed that you were by yourself and nobody was helping you. And so I was trying to get the Greek cleaned up faster.
Oh, shoot.
You weren't my type, babe.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't until I heard you say that poem that I was like, oh, hi. Who are you?
I was somebody type, man.
At that point, I'm just saying, I
Yeah.
love you though.
That's fine. I love you too. But I do think it's important that was a sign for me with Yvette. I was like, oh man, this chick's totally into me. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's taking my stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, who would walk me all the way up? It was like 30 stairs, and you're carrying a box. It's DJ equipment. It's heavy. It's very heavy.
That's when I was in good shape.
Yeah.
You should have been attracted to me carrying heavy stuff up that many stairs. And it was kind of steep too.
Yeah.
I
think you got to just put yourself out there. You got to.
Yeah.
Or just pray. You know what I mean? I don't know how to be single nowadays.
Me either. Why are we giving advice?
Why are we giving advice to single people if you don't know how to be single? We just know how to be married.
That's just, I'm just kidding.
Well, maybe this should, yeah, whatever. So I hope I helped you out. I hope we helped you in some way, but don't stay inside.
And don't be like discouraged either, because I feel like I was at your point at one point in my life, and
Thought you were never gonna get married.
I thought I was never gonna get married. Like, I literally, and when I say that, you always say what you say, like that I wish I was single right now, and that's not true. I say that saying that I never expected anyone to like pursue me in the way for marriage so early.
That's crazy.
I know. It is crazy. And so what I'm saying to this woman is that don't be discouraged. Like, the Lord there's not just one person. I don't agree with that anymore.
Well, that's the thing too, is like, we do have people who are like, 40 and like unmarried and like really upset about it. You know what I'm saying? And so, we can't just say, oh, the Lord has someone for you, because that may not be in the cards right now. You know what I mean? So I don't want you to be discouraged, but also don't want you to like you know, like have like this promise that God has someone for you, and maybe he doesn't, you know. But I do think that you should be fearless when it comes to this, you know. And because, you know, our God isn't a God of fear, you know what I mean? Like, he doesn't want us to fear anything but him, you know. And so, like, he's giving you everything you need to put yourself out there, and you know what I'm saying, you're well accomplished in all these things. And the intimidation thing, like, I don't think you shouldn't be yourself. I think that's actually someone who can handle that will pursue you, you know what I mean? Because I feel like Jackie was very intimidating. What the heck?
It's a cricket.
This gives me flashbacks from the garage. You know what I'm saying? And Preston, you know what I mean, is intimidating as well. You know what I mean? And so they both got together, and it's just a beautiful relationship. I think you should definitely listen to 30 Minutes with the Perrys.
We'll link it below.
Yeah, we'll link it. They're an amazing couple, and actually going on tour, PIA tour, Poets in Autumn. So we're gonna go to that too. Mm-hmm. But anyway, let's get into this. How married are you, babe?
I'm so married that I know how tired you are, and I made sure your side of the bed was cleared off so that after this podcast, you can either go to sleep or edit this podcast. And I unpacked your suitcase.
What?
Because you always leave your suitcase.
It's always
packed. I know. I should have just said I unpacked your suitcase. Glen just got in town. The same day he got in town, his suitcase is unpacked.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that is insane.
Very impressive, babe. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome.
Jeez.
And babe, he was falling asleep. I don't know what's going on. How married are you?
I'm so married that I asked you if you wanted some eggs today, and you said no. And I made you the greatest bowl of eggs you have ever. No, man, I probably made some better than that in the past.
Oh, you definitely have.
Yeah, but you weren't expecting it.
I wasn't.
But I hooked you up. I'm
glad you took the initiative, because I would have seen you eating yours, and I would have been like,
"Can I have some?" And I'd have been like, "No." And actually, I would have gave you it all.
I know.
Because that's the type of.
And
that was a little.
No, that's a good note to end on.
Like, I know, but it was a little runny. And a straight note.
And that's just how married we are.